Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of this replay. Drones still mining out of here very effectively and is pretty much saturating both of these mineral patches. Should probably try to transfer some of these drones over here to this north side in order to just get better bang for your bucks in terms of drone count. And yes, some drones already being moved out, so 9 drones being moved out from that main mineral patch. Banelings also being morphed in as well, so those banelings going to be a very difficult problem for any marines. However, I do not see any marines at this stage. Only 1 marine from that early part of that game, so those banelings will really be trying to splash against those, perhaps those marauders, dealing 20 damage against those marauders and those stores. However, that's not going to really be that much damage, as that Thor dealing 50 damage a shot against those banelings, and those banelings should pretty much pop before they're able to unleash their acid on top of those stores. Marauders, do they have the concussion missile? Yes, they do in fact have that concussion missile, and I hear a Nidus Worm. So Nidus Worm down over here, and Mondragon coming in with these Hydralisks, gonna make very short work of this expansion. Orbital Command already down to 1,000 hit points, down to 800. Hydralisk attacking so quickly, and that Orbital Command quickly getting taken down, and this island expansion for StarCraft is going to suffer. So all these SCVs down over here, taking a look at the income and the harvesters. Dragon seen on 73 harvesters compared to StarCraft's 45, and almost mining double in terms of minerals compared to StarCraft. So StarCraft definitely behind at this stage. However, army sizes are fairly even, and looking at StarCraft does have the better counter units, has those siege tanks, has those marauders. I don't see anything that's really going to be able to stop all of these really heavy-duty units. And not enough roaches. Those Hydralisks will be one-shotted, and as long as those siege tanks are able to siege in time, they will deal a fair amount of damage. Marauders now coming in. Banelings trying to rush in as well. In come these siege tanks. Siege tanks are going to start blasting away at this army, and those Hydralisks, and without that roach support in the front, is just getting torn apart. Already Mondragon pretty much essentially losing every single one of his units at this stage. And wow, down to the 925 mineral army. SCVs repairing these poor Thors. Those Thors, however, more SCVs coming in to join in on that healing fund, and that's the siege tanks and those Thors have level 1 weapon upgrades. Once StarCraft perhaps trying to only offer contain, does pretty much assuming that he's only mining out of these 2 mineral patches. If he perhaps knew that there was a hatchery over here and then 2 additional hatcheries being laid down, he would perhaps go hunting for those hatcheries. And StarCraft, Nidus Worm now in the base of Dragon though. However, that single Marauder will be able to take down that Nidus Worm before anything happens. Changeling still sitting off over here, and why isn't that siege tank doing anything? The siege tank, perhaps that one Changeling should perhaps move back over here and try to get the Nidus network back over here, try to take down these SCVs. However, Thor's once again on the move, gonna try to take down these Overlords. Banelings getting a couple of splash hits, but those siege tanks now in siege mode, able to just really take down all of these Hydralisks. Hydralisks with that hit point nerf really is taking a serious amount of damage now. Siege tanks once again on the move, and we'll see how that's really going to work. A single Thor, one of those Thors I believe was taken down, but still 2, 1 Thor still in play, and 5 more siege tanks continuing to move very slowly. Nidus Network going to go ahead and grab all of these drones and perhaps try to set up an additional expansion over here, try to transfer those drones out of that base. Very nicely done by Dragon, but Dragon's still in a serious situation at this point. Nidus Network has a lot of these drones. Where are these drones being unloaded? I do not see them just quite yet. Oh, down over here. So using the leftover Nidus Network, gonna set up a hatchery over here. So all of these drones once again able to mine out. Siege tanks, however, just pushing into this base, and Dragon, who looks like he's focused so much on that economy, unable to produce any additional units. Evolution Chamber, level 1 or level 2 weapons attack, and level 1 armor upgrade. So 2-1 upgrades on those Hydralisks, but still without anything really there, without any roaches to really act as that front wall. Those Hydralisks are just pure support units. They are not as easily masked. We do in fact have an infestation pit. Do we have any infestors being built? I do not see any infestors anywhere on the map yet, so that's going to be a definite issue, as those stores would have been just a great unit in order to try to counteract, the infestors would have been a great unit to try to counteract those stores. Marauders once again on the move. Marauders upgraded 1-1, acting as that front line, taking a lot of that damage from that spine crawler. However, the siege tanks from behind able to just clean up the rest of this. And now that this may be GG. Dragon losing a lot of his tech, losing the lair, losing the Hydralisk Den, and losing that Baneling nest. So unless he starts building, Hydralisk Den already placed down over here, as he perhaps knew that he was going to be losing that lair, and also getting an Infestation Pit. So Infestation Pit now down, desperately needs those Infestors in order to try to counteract those Thors and these Siege Tanks. Broodlings would also be a very viable option as soon as those stores were taken down, but we'll see how this is really going to work. Thors continue to just hammer out damage and deal the damage against these extractors. One single Marauder being left behind to finish off this extractor. Down over here on the bottom right side, Island Expansion is fully saturated, has a couple of Spine Crawlers as well, but Thors not really caring about those Island Expansions. Going to go ahead and take down this Overlord as those medevacs continue to move. So one command row of siege tanks, 2 Thors. Those Thors a great counter to Hydralisk and Mutalisk, and with no Infestors in play to really counteract those Thors, Dragon is in a desperate attempt to try to do anything else. Drones now coming in. Drones not the counter to Thors, no matter what people try to convince you of. And those drones now once again being pulled back away as that command center now sitting over here. So a command center trying to harvest from these high yield minerals while those destructible rocks are still in position. But the army of Strelok sitting at almost 6,500 minerals is just going to be too much to stop. We do in fact have a single Infestor, but that Infestor gonna get destroyed before it's able to get to those Thors, and that's really an issue there. Siege tanks now sieging back up. Hydralisk quickly getting taken down, and that is in fact going to be GG. Stay tuned for Game 2 in this best of 3 matchup between Strelok and Dragon. I'm not sure from where, but thanks for watching this game on Lost Temple.